Hey team, I wanted to make a video to talk about how we can make better entries, not necessarily using the method that I teach. So, I talk about waiting for that 5 minute candle to close over the trigger level for confirmation. While that is still true and is very useful for beginner traders, the next level to getting a better entry is taking an entry on a smaller time frame chart. So I'm talking about the 1 minute or 2 minute chart time frame. I'm using ticker Shopify, SHOP, as an example. We're on the 5-day, 5 minute chart time frame. 928, which is where I have this white line drawn, was the previous all-time high. So quite a few times it has hit this point and ultimately failed to break out over this point. Yesterday it closed fairly close to this point, and then pre-market right here we had a pretty close touch to 928. So we knew that that level was the resistance. For that reason, 928 was our long trigger. And the first thing that we want to do is wait. Remember, I'm on the 5 minute chart time frame. We want to wait for a 5 minute candle to close over 928, right? And we got that in the first 5 minutes. So we know that we don't take entries in the first 5 minutes. There's a lot of chop that goes on. A lot of traders opening and closing positions at this time frame. So we don't wait, or we don't take a position in the first 5 minutes. Does this count as confirmation? Yes. What should we do after we get that confirmation? Wait for that second candle to start to form. As that candle's forming, we want to make sure that it doesn't just close over, that the first candle doesn't just close over the trigger and the second one come right down. That happens all too often, especially after the first 5 minute candle. You'll see a big run up. And then a complete move down. So BYND was a good example of that today. So the first 5 minute candle closed really green. 136 was our trigger off the side chart watch list, and then it just came right down, right? So we want to avoid that. Maybe even waiting as far as 10 minutes into the trading session for that second candle to close can give you some confirmation. But by the third or fourth candle, you should start to have some direction and feel more confident about where the stock is going to be headed for the day. This consolidation right here, if you're just using the 5 minute chart time frame, this consolidation is not telling you a whole lot about where you can take an entry point at. So I'm going to show you on the 1 minute chart time frame how you can take a better entry. This provides a lot more, the 1 minute chart provides a lot more information when it comes to reading candlesticks, price action, volume, all of that. On this chart time frame, you can probably see where your entry should have been or would have been, right? When it pushed up initially in that first 5 minutes and pulled back, we start to see a lot of this consolidation. I did not alert this in chat at the time until it broke out of this consolidation phase. So at that point, if you just want to draw yourself a simple trend line, kind of connecting or surrounding the majority of the price action. I'm going to delete our 928 long trigger. We know that that's the level to take it long. This is where you see your breakout right here. You see your first candle start to print above this consolidation phase. You see that this is forming like a pennant pattern, a triangle pattern. It's gotten to the point where it started to push up. Now we see volume begin to, instead of decrease here, at this point it turns around and starts to increase. So on this volume candle, where it printed above the majority of this resistance at what it break, 932.50 right here, and that time frame is at 6:44 a.m. This is where I alerted it right here, 6:44 a.m. I am long on ticker shop, stop placed at 926. Okay, that was the exact thing, the exact candle that I saw printing for that confirmation that this was going to move higher. 944. Now let's look at the 5 minute chart time frame. At 944, all you see, you don't really see anything. You just kind of see this candle printing higher, but you don't see all of that data. You don't necessarily see this triangle pattern right there forming on the 1 minute chart time frame. You kind of just see consolidation. The volume is still pretty even, so you don't really see a major increase in volume. Using the 1 minute chart time frame can be both beneficial to you and harmful, because what happens on the 1 minute chart time frame, there are a lot of fake outs. I felt comfortable alerting this play based off of the 1 minute chart time frame for two reasons. One, we know that all-time high is 928. It broke out over that point early in the morning session, so we knew that it had like potential, right? People were watching this stock, it had potential to run. Second, this consolidation phase is telling us that it's validating this as a support. Just about every wick or candle that dipped below 928, I mean, this was bought up. These were all bought up above this price point. And then it breaks out above the triangle pattern above 928, right at 928. After pretty much validating it as a support, I waited 1 more minute for that confirmation candle to make sure that it was going to continue higher, alerted that in chat, and yeah, this thing ran up past the high of day here, broke out to 945. So this was a decent sized move from our entry. 1.43%. I wound up taking 50% on this move, and I sold right here at right at around high of day. So that is how you can use the 1 minute chart time frame for a better entry, especially if you see that the stock is consolidating. If it's consolidating, you can usually go into the 1 minute chart time frame, identify the range that it's consolidating in, which, you know, at this point it wasn't necessarily a range, but it was kind of building this triangle pattern. And then a break of that range on higher volume. You probably want to wait for another candle to print higher for that extra confirmation. Will give you the validity of the move. Should validate that move for you. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's helped you out some. I know it's short, but I'm trying to cut down on the length of these videos so they're easily accessed and more people want to watch a shorter video. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in chat. Thanks.